Hey guys, the Melon Man here, John DePass, professional trainer and weight loss expert. And today I'm here to introduce you to my latest version of my program. This is my weight loss, healing, and performance program for 2020. It's the exercise, nutrition, weight loss, and healing information that I'll be sharing with all of my clients for the next year. Okay, so this is all the most up-to-date content that I am giving to everyone that I get to spend time with. I love what I do. I love to help people change their lives. I've been helping people lose weight, tone up, get back into fitness, get back into healthy nutrition for 30 years now. And I'm more passionate about it now than I ever have been in my life. And today I just want to share with you some important bits about my program, some important bits about me, some changes I've made in the program in the last year, and help you to understand why. Now, I'll tell you that, I've already said, I've been doing this for 30 years. Since I was 18 years old, I've been a personal trainer. I'm 47 now. I'm turning 48 in 2020. So it has been 30 years of helping people. But I'll tell you, in the last 3 years specifically, I have really turned up the volume on every single aspect of my life. And I credit all of that to what I now call, all under the umbrella of the detoxification process. And I call everything under the umbrella of detoxification, weight loss, healing, eliminating pain, and correcting all aspects of the life. Really what I call detoxification, purification is, kind of just words that I use to describe all the same things. Most people reach out to me for weight loss, but what they don't understand is that the reason they're gaining weight is because there's something wrong in the body and life, right? Something is wrong with the way that you're thinking first. Something is wrong with the things you're saying, and something is wrong with the things you're doing. Your habits and behaviors are off. You're gaining weight because your thoughts, words, habits, and behaviors are off track, creating actions in your life that are not creating the desired outcome in the body. So weight gain happens, right? And people reach out because they want to lose weight and don't recognize and realize that the weight loss is just a symptom of a bigger problem. And my program, yes, it helps people lose weight quickly. This year, I witnessed and was in the presence of and got the opportunity to work with Mark, who lost 100 pounds in 6 months. I've witnessed over the past 12 months, numerous people, men and women, lose between 15 and 27 pounds in 6 weeks. That's my promise. You're going to lose between 13 and 27 pounds in the next 6 weeks if you follow the program and commit to it, right? Now, following the program and committing to it is a number of things. One, it's getting into exercise more days than not. It's getting into eating properly more days than not. It's changing the way you think. It's putting new information into your head so you can get some new ideas. And it's including meditation in your life. Now, the meditation aspect, which I'm adding to this program in 2020, is something that's brand new, and I want to talk about that today. Why I have chosen to include that as a part of my foundation and fundamental recommendations for healing your life, for losing weight. Healing and losing weight, to me, it's all under purification, detoxification. It's all an aspect of bringing you back to your very best self. Weight loss, healing, removing pain, overcoming sickness, illness, or disease, fixing your relationships, stepping into your abundance, stepping back into your very best self, getting your happiness back, getting your joy back, loving yourself. All of this, to me, is all the same thing, right? So when I say healing, or when I say weight loss, or when I say getting your joy or happiness back, or stepping back into your best, I'm all talking about the same thing. It's detoxification. It's purification of the body, mind, life, thought, and word that's going to help you to do that. You can do that. Only you can do that. That's my teaching now. That coming back to your very best, losing the weight, healing your body and life is something that you can choose to do for yourself. Now, I'll tell you, my background is in kinesiology. I studied kinesiology and psychology at university. But truly, my experience has been that I've had 30 years of being in the field of actually working with people and helping people change their lives, and at the same time working with myself and changing my own life, right? I've been working out my entire life. I haven't stopped from when I was 6 years old, when I started an organized soccer program, right? I started lifting weights when I was 13. I'm 47, so it's been over 35 years that I've been exercising consistently, 40 years plus. I never stopped. At 25, I opened up my first business in a commercial location, my own place, and I stopped exercising for 6 months then. I stopped exercising when I injured myself in football for a couple of weeks. I was out with an injury. I've stopped for a couple of times for a holiday, but beyond that, I have been exercising my entire life. Nutrition, I've always had to lose weight for competitive bodybuilding. I was, the provincial champion when I was 19 years old. I was in the Mr. Universe when I was 23 years old. I was Mr. North America in 1996. So that's just about 25 years ago now. I was a competitive bodybuilder at the international level. Mr. Canada, at the world class level of bodybuilding. So losing weight to get into competition was something that was just a part of my life. I've done the schooling for this. I've lived this competitively, internationally. I've helped hundreds and hundreds of people to lose weight over the last 30 years. And I've watched hundreds and hundreds of people lose weight, and I've watched hundreds of people gain it back. And I'm sure that you don't want to gain it back. So now, what I want to teach in my 2020 version of this program is everything that it takes for you to heal and change your life forever, right? For good, okay? And today, as I sketch out this program and let you understand where it all comes from, I want to share some bits about me, because what I've learned over my 30 years, specifically in the last year, what I've learned is that healing is something that every single one of us can do, that every single one of us has the power to do. Healing is natural. And the only reason why we're all not partaking in it is because we have some thoughts and understanding inside of our head that's blocking us from taking advantage of all of the power that we have naturally as humans. It's our birthright. It's our God-given, universally given gift that every single one of us has, regardless of whether or not we go to church, regardless of whether or not we accept Jesus. Every single one of us has equal access to the power that's within us, the power to heal and change everything within us. And that power is the power of love. The power of love, the light that is within each and every one of us. That is our power, and that is our ability. Now, I'll tell you, 3 years ago, I made a very abrupt change in my life. 3 years ago, I really doubled down on my commitment to my life. My life has been, one trauma after another. And I'm not telling you that to, ask you to feel sorry for me. I'm not looking for you to feel sorry for me. I'm very happy. And I have made amends with all aspects of my life. But I'm opening up myself here to you to let you know, I'm trying to be vulnerable to let you know that I am not perfect, right? And I will never be perfect. And I am not going to even try to be perfect, okay? But I am going to try to do my very best in every single moment to be the very best version of me, the person that I want to be, the person that I want to be in my mind, the vision that I have clearly marked out in my mind. That's important. You have to know clearly, precisely who you want to be. You have to get a vision of who that is. And that means who you want to be personally. Who you want to be, personally might include weight loss, might include exercise, might include just the way your energy is or how you want to be as a person, who and what you want to be, whether you want to be in love with yourself and happy with yourself and demonstrate happiness. Those are personal goals. You have to have relationship goals. Do you have a primary partner? Maybe you don't have a wife or a husband or a boyfriend or a girlfriend, but maybe you want to. Or maybe your primary partner is a friend or a sibling or a parent. It doesn't matter who your primary partner is, who the person that life has given you to share life with. It may be a lover, it may not be. It's not right or wrong whether it's a lover or not. Whether you have one or not doesn't matter. If you want one, we can get you one. You can get you one, not me. But if you follow the program, you can manifest or create anything you want. You can manifest or create health, weight loss, wealth, joy, happiness, perfect health. All of that can be yours, and that's the promise that I'm giving to you inside of this program, and that's what I'm teaching inside of this program. Not only weight loss. Yes, it's about weight loss. That's why people reach out to me. But it's about a heck of a lot more than that. At its root, it's about loving yourself completely. And when you do, weight loss will not be an issue. Sickness, illness, pain, disease will not be an issue. Financial problems will not be an issue. Relationship problems can solve and fix themselves as you start bringing your very best self to all of your life circumstances and situations. You need to be clear about who you want to be personally, who you want to be in your relationship, in your relationships with your children, with your friends, with your family, with your siblings, with your employees, with your employer, your relationship with your career, your future, your financial relationship, the relationship with money, the relationship with the rest of this planet, with the other people on this planet, with how you think and feel about the other people and other animals and this globe. How you feel and think about this globe matters. What you put out into this life that you have been given is what is coming back to you. And for that reason, we all need to take responsibility for what is showing up and what is going on in our lives. And that's a big one for a lot of people. It was a big one for me. And 3 years ago, I decided that I had to take a greater responsibility in my life. You know, there was a lot of things that were coming up again and again in my life. There were a lot of problems with my health that were just building up until 3 years ago, when all of that dark cloud in my life began to disappear. And that's why I'm sharing and teaching the messages that I'm sharing and teaching now. And they are very different than what the mainstream understanding is about health and wellness. You know, I followed health and wellness, kinesiology, psychology. I studied the science. I applied it. I was a bodybuilder at the international level. I applied the protein diet, the keto diet. I applied the protein and vegetables, the vitamins and minerals, lots of water. I followed it. I exercised. All right. I did all of that for 30 years. And 3 years ago, my life was filled with lots of obstacles, pains, and just trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma. It just seemed like I was just a magnet for pain, whether it was emotional, physical, mental, relational. There was pain in every single aspect of my life, right? Up until 3 years ago, I had physical pain in my body, in my neck, in my hips, in my ankles, tendinitis in various places, physical pain in my body. I had sleep problems, problems that were medicated, digestive problems that were medicated. I had athlete's foot between my baby toes on both feet for over 30 years, since I was 15 years old. I had acne and skin issues from when I was 15 years old. All that time of bodybuilding, all that time of protein living, high protein diets, animal protein. I had drug addictions, anabolic drugs, stimulants, club drugs, cocaine and ecstasy were in my life. There were problems in my life with drugs, food problems, addictions to food, incorrect foods, addictions to food, addictions to the party lifestyle, sex, drugs. That was in my life. I've been bankrupt twice, and I've been spiritually bankrupt, emotionally bankrupt, and financially bankrupt twice. I've lost everything in my life twice, and I've built myself back up to where I am now to share this message with you today and share everything that I will be telling and sharing with all of my clients for 2020. This is the background of how and why I am here sharing this message with you today. So I have learned, and even more so over the last year, that healing is something that is inside of us. Healing is something that we can choose to do. But in order for us to do that, 3 years ago, I started following, Anthony Robbins, every single word that he said. Abraham Hicks, every single word that they put out on video, I watched and learned and listened and read. My life was in a shambles. My relationships were in a shambles. Financially, I was in a shambles. I was starting my business again and again, and failing and losing and gaining and losing and gaining and losing again and again and again. Physical pain in my body, athlete's foot, digestive problems, sleep problems, couldn't sleep, medicated. All of these things were going on for me. Everything was a mess. And Anthony Robbins, Abraham Hicks, following the top coaches in the world as closely as I could, I started to rebuild my life. And, they all said, get clear about your goals. Get clear about what you want to create in your life. And that if you bring yourself to the energy of what you want, bring yourself to the energy, the thoughts and the words of what you want. Think and speak about how you want your life to be, not about what is going on. If you're thinking and speaking about what is going on, which is what everybody does, then when you think and speak about what is going on right now, then you're holding yourself in what is going on right now. If you're thinking and speaking about what your parents think about you, or what your friend said about you, or what your coach said about you, or what your neighbor said, or what so-and-so said, if you're thinking and talking about what other people are thinking and saying about you, then you are not free and being who and what you really are. You need to establish your own ideas, your own decision. It's a decision inside of you. You need to decide who and what you are. You need to love yourself. We all need to learn how to love ourselves. Our lives are trying to wake us up so that we will all love ourselves. This is why everything is happening to us. Right? 3 years ago, I was at a place where everything was falling apart. Everything had fallen apart more than once. In my health, in my relationship, in my career, in my finances. Everything was falling apart. And I came back to, trying to have a coach. I started watching the best coaches in the world and doing what they said. And what they said was I needed to get clear about who and what I wanted to be and think and speak about that. And I did that diligently every single morning. I got to change my life. I got a wife. I got 3 children. They're dependent on me. And this is the way that I support them. By fitness and wellness, because that's what I know. This is what I've done my entire life. Since I was 6 years old, I've been exercising. I've never stopped. This is what I've done. This is my teachable. I need to do it in a way that can sustain me and sustain my wife and my kids, my family. Pay for my lifestyle. I need to change my life. And I'm going to do that myself. I set out again 3 years ago to take responsibility for what's going on in my life. A lot of things happened. I could blame an ex-partner, I could blame an ex-relationship, I could blame my parents, I could blame society, I could blame economy, I could blame, there's lots of things that I could blame. Lots of reasons why this happened or that happened. Okay, at the end of the day, in my opinion, and it's my teaching, and it's what I learned from the best coaches in the world. I've traveled the world to meet with the best coaches and discuss with the best coaches and understand what the best of the best in the world are teaching. And what the best of the best in the world are teaching is this, what I'm teaching now. Okay? Take responsibility. I had to take responsibility. Yeah, my mother died when I was 19. My dad made me move out. I was all alone. I had bodybuilding. I got caught up in drugs and clubs and sex and all of that. Yes. I'm not blaming anybody. That did happen. And we've got to be able to deal with it at some point. Now, I'm not saying, what happened to you isn't important. Everyone's got their own story and their own trauma. I understand that. I'm not trying to belittle you and your trauma. A childhood disease, molestation, sexual stuff. Stuff that didn't happen to me, thank goodness. But I had my own. I'm not trying to say mine is worse than yours. Maybe yours is worse than mine, but it doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter what it is. Whenever you are ready to embrace your life, you have to give your life your love. And that means you got to embrace even the darker bits. You've got to bring the darker bits up and bring them to the light. Even your darker bits need your love. Right? You need to learn how to love yourself. We all need to learn how to love ourselves. The love and health and vigor and joy and happiness and freedom are inside. And we need to learn how to access that and bring it out and express it out into our life. And we need to take the darker bits of us and we need to bring them out and express them and bring them to the light too. So, by me sharing with you and making myself vulnerable and opening myself up and letting you know, hey, I've been through bankruptcy. I've been through relationship problems with my wife, with my children, with myself, with drugs, with substance, with money, problems of all kinds, with health, with pain, with weight. I lost 40 pounds 3 years ago doing what I'm teaching. 1 year ago, I'm sharing something with you now. It's almost a year. It was November 28th, 29th, last year. It was 3 years ago that I moved into my current location where I'm running my current business. My fitness and wellness business is here in my home. I run my business in my home. My family and I live here, down on the lakeshore in Burlington. I run my business here. 3 years ago, I came here desolate. No money. Lost everything again 3 years ago. Started thinking and speaking about what I want to create in my life. And into my life came information while I was thinking and speaking about what I want. Into my life came information about the vegan lifestyle. And I started shifting in that direction. Thinking and speaking about what I want to create with regards to me personally, with regards to my relationship with my wife, with regards to relationships with my children, with regards to my relationships with money, with regards to my relationship with my future, and how I want to contribute to the planet. I set out 3 years ago to change my life. My life has changed. 1 year ago, something happened. November 28th, 2018. It's coming up to November 28th, 2019. It's almost here. It's almost a year ago that this happened to me. And I haven't talked about it because I've been so broken by it. And whenever something traumatic happens in our lives, we need healing time to deal with it and deal with all aspects of it. And we need to, at some point, bring it up into the light, express it, share it, speak about it, talk about it, bring it to the light, embrace it, love it, learn from it, grow from it, share it out, put it out there, and assimilate it into our life, because every part of us is a gift. Even the things that come cloaked in darkness and shadow and seem like they're just the worst, they're the biggest teachings and learnings. They hurt, yes. They're dark, yes. But when you've got the time to get into them and invite them back up and embrace them, you'll see that they are the greatest teachings of our lives. And that's where we have to come to with all of the things that have happened to us. All of us got a story. And at some point, we've got to stop pointing the finger at somebody else, and we've got to just embrace that trauma, hug it, give it love, invite it up, express it out, and remove it. Because that trauma that we haven't dealt with, that we haven't taken responsibility for, whatever that is, if it's an addiction to food or drug or substance or sex or another person, or it's shopping, or it's vacations, or it's buying things, however you're coping with your situation, whether it's drinking or smoking or coffee or food, the reason why this is all happening, the reason why all of the problems are in your, because you haven't dealt with it. You haven't loved it. You haven't loved yourself. Loving yourself requires you to exercise. Loving yourself requires you to eat the right food. Loving yourself requires you to think and speak the right way. And loving yourself requires you to make time for and honor your spirit. And that's why I've added meditation to the program for 2020. Because that is what I'm going to say is the opportunity for you to interact with your spirit. Whatever that spirit is for you, whatever your God is, whatever it means for you. God, or whatever you want to call spirit, or whether you want to call it soul, or whether you want to call it, love, or your inner self, or the inner child, or the collective unconscious. I don't care. It doesn't matter whether you want to call it Jesus or Buddha or Allah. It doesn't matter. We're all children of the Most High. The highest self is a part of all of us. We are all body, mind, and spirit. Body and spirit. We are all body, mind, and spirit. All of us are. And we must take stock of the truth. This is the truth. And as long as we're still denying it, spirit doesn't matter or this doesn't matter, as long as you're leaving it out, you're blocking yourself from healing. You're blocking yourself from accessing the infinite part of you. The most powerful part of you is not your body and it's not your mind. It is the spirit. The highest frequency bit of you is the most important, most powerful bit of you. It is the biggest creator. It's from the spirit that all things come. It's from creation that all things come. You are here. We are here. We are all here. The only way to get here is if you come together, man and woman, in loving interaction. It's the only way to get here is through love. If you are not loving yourself in your life, you are doing something wrong. You need to change your mind in order to do something right. It's thought and word and action, habit and behavior that change a life. 1 year ago, almost a year ago, I set out to go on a family vacation with my children. We were driving to Disney. My wife elected to stay home. I was disappointed that my wife elected to stay home and work at the gym. She wanted to stay at the gym, work the gym, and I was going to take the kids down. I was upset that my wife wasn't coming, but hey, I can't make her come. She decided she wanted to stay and work and for me to take the kids down and spend time with the kids. Hey, I was grateful that I was getting this time with the kids because for the last 15 years and 2 bankruptcies, it's been nothing but work, work, work for me. Right? Providers can relate. Work, work, work. Get up and work. Go to bed. Get up and work. Go to bed. It's been like that for the last 15, 16, 17, 18, 20 years of my life. Recovering from financial strife. So I was grateful that I was getting this opportunity to take my kids away on a holiday and spend time with my kids. This was so important to me. It was a goal for me from the beginning of the year in January. It was one of the goals to go on a family vacation at the end of the year, go to Disney, take my kids. I hadn't taken them away on holidays for many years. I was so happy that I was going to take this time off of work and devote it to my family, to my kids. To my kids, because my wife wasn't coming. I was upset about that, but I was happy that I was getting to take my kids. I was driving down, and I had planned to drive down by myself because my wife wasn't there to share the drive. And it's a long drive to Orlando. It's about 23 hours. I've done this trip to Orlando at least 7 or 8 times. I've driven to Myrtle Beach all night at least 7 or 8 times. I've driven to Myrtle Beach or Florida 16 to 20 times over the last 10 years. I've done this trip many times. And I tell you that I come from a background of anabolic drugs and stimulants, and that life to me just seems normal. For me to be up all night at a club in my life was nothing. To be doing club drugs, stimulants, to stay up all night was nothing. Was, in my mind, normal for me. So for me to take a stimulant to drive all night, to me, in my mind, is nothing. Is just something I've grown up with. So I'm driving to Florida with my kids. And to me, it's coming to 11 o'clock, 11:30. Kids are in the car. We're all singing songs. We're playing their music, and I'm enjoying it with them and having fun. And then I started to yawn, and the kids are starting to yawn a little bit. And I think it's time for me to take a stimulant. I got some Adderall from a guy that I know up the street who's been a guy that I've known for a long time. You know what I mean? I got some Adderall in some capsules. Adderall's like a drug that they use for ADHD. It's a stimulant that keeps your mind very up and alert. You can't sleep when you're on Adderall. I've done it before. I was a drug addict. I've been a drug addict in my time. A stimulant addict. Normal for me. I took an Adderall. Stopped and did a bathroom break. I took an Adderall, thinking I'm going to be up all night driving my kids to Florida. I worked all day. I'd worked all week, paid all my bills, got excited about taking this time with my kids. I worked all day so I could be there for my clients because I was going to be off for a week. And I was driving all night Friday, and I was going to be pulling into Florida on Saturday afternoon. I took the Adderall around 10:30, 11 o'clock, maybe at night, pulled over, bathroom break, took the drug, started back on the road, singing with my kids, listening to music, and about an hour later I thought, weird, if I took Adderall, usually I would feel like, like I'm kind of more up, would be the thought. I was thinking I would be up. I wasn't feeling like that. I was feeling like, doesn't seem like I'm really feeling that up. And I need to drive all night. I think I'll take another one. So I took another one because I had to drive all night. I thought in my mind that I was doing the right thing. I wanted to see my clients. I worked all day. I wanted to drive all night to get my kids to Florida to spend time with them. This was a big goal of mine. I had set up in my mind. I wanted to spend time with my kids, to work on my relationships with them. I booked a wonderful place in Orlando to stay. I was excited. Another 45 minutes of driving went by, and I noticed myself like driving, and I'm like, I feel like my perception of driving was off. And I thought, okay, what's that? And I thought, let me pull over at the next gas station and figure out what's going on here. I don't want to be on the road if I'm not feeling right. I don't know what's going on. So I was finding it really hard to navigate the vehicle. Like I'm like trying to get over, and I couldn't judge if the car behind me was going fast or going slow. I couldn't judge. I was like, something's wrong. So I pulled over as soon as I could, and I pulled over to the closest gas station, and I got out of the car, and I said to the kids, I'm just going into the bathroom. I'll just be a second. I didn't want to alarm anybody. Went in the bathroom, and I went to the urinal, and I'm using the bathroom, and I felt like while I was at the urinal that like I was losing my balance, distorted. So I went back out to the car, and I said to the kids, hey, listen guys, I'm going to take a little bit of a rest here now. Let's just take a little bit of a rest here now. I'm going to turn down the music. We're going to rest here now. And I thought I would let me just figure out what's going on. Let me just stop here and figure out what's going on. I'm not sure what's going on here. This is something that I don't know. I'm not driving. So I'm laying in the car, listening to the music, and then things start to drift in and out of reality for me. So at this point now, I start to go lucid. I'm not sure about time. I'm not sure about what exactly all happened and how it all happened, but I'm sharing what I do know. I was in the car listening to the music. My kids were resting in the back. We're listening to music, and I was singing the song that was on the radio. And the song sounded so nice that I really felt like I wanted to sing it. And I was singing it. And then the song picked up, and I felt really, really happy. And I got out of the car, and I started dancing and carrying on outside the car. I thought I was just kind of carrying on for my kids, like letting them see Dad dancing and having fun, right? Dad's just dancing, having fun outside. And the music picked up, and I was dancing, and I lost something of me. And I was just dancing and carrying on outside, and before I knew it, people were like looking at me dancing. I'm like, whoa. People are like making remarks when they're going in. Like, I was at a store, so people were kind of collecting around and watching me dancing. I'm like, whoa. And then the next thing I know, a police officer pulls up. Got the microphone, you know. I'm like, oh shit. Oh shit. Like, all of a sudden, now I'm in another country, and I'm not really sure what's going on, where I am or what's going on. And I'm looking around going like, what's going on? The police officers are getting out of the car. Hey, mister, what's your name? I'm John. Everything's cool, sir. I'm just hanging out with my kids. We're on our way to Florida. Everything's cool. John, I got a call from the owner of the store. Says there's someone out here carrying on. Have you been drinking tonight or doing any drugs? No, sir, I haven't. All right. He starts coming towards me. I look back at my kids. My kids are like, Dad, get in the car, get in the car. Like, I could see that they were afraid that I was out of my normal self. I was scaring my kids. I could see it. Police officers were here. 2 police officers are coming towards me now. Other police cars are coming now. Multiple police cars. 4 police cars. Multiple officers getting out of their cars, coming towards me. And I was not me. And I remember saying to my daughter, as they were apprehending me, like I was like, what are you doing, guys? Like, there's nothing wrong with me. And they cuffed me, pushed me up against the car, against my car with my kids. My kids were screaming and crying inside, and they were cuffing me in Pittsburgh. This is the first time I'm telling this story. I didn't feel it at the time, but I scared my children. I was taken in an ambulance to the hospital. And for a number of hours, there was a vision that was going through my head over and over and over again, and a song that was playing in my head over and over and over again. And in my mind, it felt like I was there for years. Like this was happening again and again and again in my head. My wife had got called. I was unconscious. She had to drive to Pittsburgh. She got her sister. She drove to Pittsburgh to the hospital. I was in the hospital when she rose when she arrived in the morning. I guess it must have been around 5 or 6 in the morning when she got there to collect the kids. Needless to say, how pleased she was about me, her husband, who was in his underwear in the hospital with his hands in the air, like looking like this, saying some gibberish that she couldn't understand, and I couldn't communicate with her. And my kids were in another room, and of course scared and not sure what was going on. I scared my kids. I hurt my wife. Scared my wife. They put me in a part of the hospital that was for like people that have mental, deranged, I guess, people. And I had to go through a psychological assessment. Now first, of course, I had to come off of whatever this was, or whatever response I had to whatever this was. So I didn't sleep that day. I didn't sleep until the next day, Saturday. I slept Saturday night. I think in the late night, and then Sunday all day, just laying in a hospital bed waiting to be assessed by a psychiatrist. I had to do a psychological assessment to get out of there. And so all day I was sitting in bed, thinking about what has happened to me, where I am, how did this happen, what went wrong, what did I do wrong. My kids were home. I guess, I didn't have a phone or anything. Sunday afternoon I started to text to my wife, but it was a lot of gibberish, like I was still not really coherent. It wasn't until Monday afternoon that I got into Monday midday that I got an assessment with a psychiatrist. And he asked me a number of questions about date and what was going on, and if this is something that was normal, or I passed that and I was released. And I got my stuff and I went to where they told me that my car was parked. When I got there, I recognized that I didn't have a car key. My wife explained that the car key was lost in all of the mess, and that I was going to have to sort out a new car key and get myself home. Monday afternoon, I started that process. I had to get the car opened, CAA. I had to get the car towed to Toyota down there, who were not able to fix the key because of a certain thing about my truck. And I had to tow the car then 2.5 hours from there to another Toyota that was fit and set to do the work that needed to be done for my vehicle to get the key replaced. And then they had to order the part, and it was going to take 48 hours for the part to arrive, so it wouldn't arrive till Wednesday. So I had to stay in a hotel then now, Monday night, Tuesday night, and my car would be ready on Wednesday, and I would be able to drive home 6 hours and be back with my family. So I lost my vacation with my children. I scared my children. I embarrassed myself. I scarred my relationship with my wife. I jeopardized my relationship with my clients, my business, my reputation, everyone, you know, my wife's family, even my family, father, brothers, sisters, were all like judging me. Everyone was judging me. Everyone was judging me. Everyone was hating me. My kids were scared of me, didn't trust me. My wife was upset with me. My family was upset with me. Everyone was judging me and hating on me. That I was associated with drugs and taking drugs with my kids, driving a car. Like, it was terrible for me. Terrible. I felt terrible. I came back on the Thursday morning. My wife had been working. I took the shift on Thursday morning from her for the next 3 days, and I was just like, I'm trying to motivate people to exercise and be fit and well, and I was not well. Now, I tell you, this was so destructive for me emotionally, to be breaking my relationship now with my children and my wife. The only things that maybe were, I would say, in my life that were not broken in my life up to this point, or not completely broken. This was the last straw. And my takeaway from this experience and what I've done because of it was, one, I had to find love for myself. Because everyone was judging and hating me. And in my mind, I was doing what I thought was the very best thing for me, for my children, for my wife, for my family, for my customers, for everyone around me. I thought I was doing the right thing, and it was the wrong thing. And everyone was hating me because of it. And I had to, at that point, find love for me, myself, because nobody was giving me any love. And that was the first time in my life that I really understood that my life was taking me to a place that I had to find love for myself. It doesn't matter whether you've got a wife or children. I guess the most intimate love that you'll have in your life. It doesn't matter what you have. It can all just be gone in an instant. It can all be lost. And when everything is gone, all that you have is your own self to pick up the pieces. Nobody is going to pick up the pieces for you. Whatever it is that you have, whether it's a disease, whether it's a weight issue, whether it's an addiction, whether it's a bankruptcy, whether it's whatever it is, it doesn't matter. If you want to change your life, you're going to have to learn how to find love inside of yourself. And you're going to have to learn how to take that love up out of you and express it out into your life. Now, 1 year ago, that happened to me. And ever since I was, in that hotel room for a couple of days by myself, sitting with all of this fear and worry and resentment and anger and frustration, everything that was coming at me. All alone in my hotel room, sitting on my bed, meditating on all of this. And I was like, you know, why has this happened to me? Why has all of this happened to me in my life? And the message that I took away from all of that was that I needed to learn how to love myself. I needed to believe in me and that I was good no matter what everybody else was thinking or saying. I needed to love me. And from there, I needed to learn how to give my love to the best of my ability to each moment of my life and to each circumstance, person, and situation and thing that's in my life. I need to give my best love, the best version of me, to myself, to my wife, to my children, to my clients, to my friends, and to everybody else that I share this planet with. I need to share love, my love, with them to the best of my ability. Now, my teaching now, because of this I've added meditation to my program now. I've been a meditator since I was 27, but the last year, meditation has been my saving grace and the transformer of my life. And now, I would describe meditation as the opportunity for body, mind, and spirit to unite. There is a perfection that is within each and every single one of us. And it is there no matter what is going on in your life. It is always there. It is always perfect. You have to realize that. You must realize that you are more than a body and a mind. You are a body, a mind, and a spirit. And the mind is the go-between. It's the interim between body and spirit. The mind is the juncture that allows you to include your most powerful bits in your life. The mind is where the choice and the decision is made to exercise, to eat right, to think and speak right, to take time to spend time with your most powerful bits. Because those most powerful bits of you can transform and elevate anything that you want to in your life. Don't leave out bits of this program. You are so much more powerful than you realize. You can overcome anything that's in your life. You can heal and fix and change anything that you want to in your life. That is my message. This is my 2020 version of happiness, health, weight loss, nutrition, fitness, and well-being. I'm the Melon Man. I hope you've received the message today. If you have any questions and need any help, please reach out to me. I will see you all very soon. Thanks for watching.